come here today, I'm going to show you a way of getting water. You have a look there, we're by a stagnant pond. We know it's stagnant, there's no life in it, on it, or around it, which is a good sign. But this is what we're going to use as a perspiration trap. And what we're going to do is use the tree to do the work for us. This is a willow, so it's a non-toxic tree. You wouldn't do this with yew or pines and spruces and things like that. But willow's an edible plant, edible tree, wouldn't recommend it. It's salic acid, natural aspirin in a willow, so it may taste a bit bitter, but the water will be fine. For this we need transparent sheet or bag. And what you need to do is enclose as much foliage as you can gather. Like so. All neat and tidy. Put your bag over it. Like so. And tie it off tightly. Put a stone in the corner to give it a bit of weight, or tie it to the ground. And what will happen, the sun will hit the bag, evaporating from the leaves the what is in it and being pumped up through the bark into there, and it is gently gather and pool up. The hotter the sun, the better this will work. Get enough of these, and you can probably get half a litre of water per bag with enough working. But it's a good way of purifying water. That'll be safe to drink. No other purification method needed. Tablets, boiling for instance. But you're taking dirty water and turning it into safe. This is a poncho, British Army DPM. And I've inverted it and made it into a rain trap. This method is for when there's no direct water source. Obviously the rain falls in. Bear in mind, whenever setting this trap up, the lines have got to be square. Any angle to one side, that's where the water will run to, and maybe not necessarily into your catch pot. So it needs to be quite taut. To get that indentation in the middle so the water runs down, in the hood of the poncho, I've placed a stone. Directly underneath the stone and the hood is an orbital water bag. I have found these excellent for filling it with water and using around base camp. They don't leak, they're designed to keep the water out, but they keep the water in good as well. And I've used one for about 6 or 7 years now, and they're excellent. This is how we test if a silver birch is running with sap. We put the knife against the bark and we push in, going into the second layer of bark. Not this outer crack stuff. Withdraw the knife and shortly after you'll start seeing moisture run. So, I can see moisture there already. This will start dripping in a second. This is before we tap the tree. There's no point drilling it and finding out it's not going to produce sap for us. This is the mark we've just made, and as you can see, the sap is flowing. Little drips coming out of it. So we've drilled through to the inner of the bark, through all the outer bark and into this, there's a particular word for it which I can't remember right now, but we're all the way in now, and now we're going to tap it. I've got the alder from before, I've took a piece away, and if we're lucky it's going to fit nicely in there. We're going to be unlucky because it's not going to fit in there nicely. Keeping the top piece hopefully trying to find the fattest area. Tapping it in. And hopefully a drip at the top. I don't think this is going to work, so we're going to need a plan B. As you can see, we've tapped the tree and we've put a hollowed out elderflower, and it's dripping off nicely now. We're going to spend a pot with a bit of the hanky, or cloth, just to stop the debris of the woods falling in there. Of course, we're going off for a wander now, and we don't want this actually falling apart while we're gone and losing the birch. So I'm going to actually put this on the floor where the drips are collecting. And when we come back in about an hour or so, hopefully we'll have a nice cup of tea. Or as they call it, woodman's tea. The benefit of this, obviously, benefit of tapping a silver birch, this is a pure source of water now. No chemicals needed. The tree does all the filtering for us. There's a unique taste to birch water, and you just can't beat it in springtime. This has been dripping away now for about an hour or so. We'll see how much we've got. And there we have enough for a cup of tea. The trees give up its sap very kindly to us, so now we've got to repay the favour by treating the tree right. We need to plug this hole now, otherwise we'll bleed the tree. It may not necessarily kill it this year, but it'll weaken it enough. And what we need to do is cut a piece of hazel and cut it to the size of the hole. We're going to need to taper this down and hammer it home. And once it's got a nice snug fit and we're happy, the water stops, so you know it's a nice snug fit. We'll just smooth it off so no branches or anything can knock this and pull it out. Nice and smooth. And this is the meaning of good bushcraft. Enjoying the woods and keeping after it by putting it back the way you found it. This is a Swedish marshmallow. It's basically an upside down pear shape of snowball suspended on a stick with a pot to collect the melted snow underneath. The snow's going to actually either melt either for the sun, or we've got a fire set to the side. If you haven't got a pot, you can suck from the point at the end, the fresh water, although it is very cold. But this is a good way of melting snow. This is another way of melting snow. We're going to use a scarf. It's packed full of soft snow and a collection pot underneath. The benefit of this, when you've clipped the snow, there may be twigs and things like that in it, and the scarf will filter these through. We're going to melt some snow now, and what I've put in is a small ball of snow, and we're going to place the metal cup on the fire. What we need to do is let that bit of snow melt, and then add little balls at a time when the water's melted. If I pack the container full of snow and put it on the fire, the very bottom layer will evaporate, going up into this compacted snow above and probably burn a hole in the bottom of the pan. If you had a choice between snow and ice, collect ice, because ice is only water what's frozen. So if you've got a pint of ice, you've still got a pint of water. A pint of snow will only probably give you about a quarter pint of water. So that's melting slowly now. And when you start getting a pool of water, we just add another drop. That melts, then we add another drop again. And you just build it up that way. But once you've got a container of water, you can just keep on adding snow, drink half, add snow and build it up that way.